This is the answer to your question. No payment, no interest. When structuring a no payment, no interest deal, you must know your exit strategies first. Guys, I'll tell you right now, I don't care if you're going for financing. I don't care what kind of money you're going for. I don't care if you're looking to do pre-contract due diligence. We will figure out our exit strategy first, okay? Remember, we need to know the door we walk out of before we walk into the door. You follow what I'm saying? Otherwise, we're spinning around trying to think about what the heck we're going to do with the property. And that's a waste of time. Then you're going to waste the lender's time. And then you can see the lender was just BS. They were just lip service. Well, no, maybe you didn't have your package done right. You didn't package the deal. It's not bullet pointed because you didn't have your exit strategy in place because you still don't understand what you're doing. That's why you're here. And when you leave here, you'll have all the tools. So here we go, guys. Here we go. It's not a new concept. All right? Motivated sellers offer great terms. They always have, they always will. Motivated people, people that want to do business with you, okay? People that want to do business with you. Now, here we go. I pulled this right here, right off of the internet. Cut and paste. Cut and paste. Read it. Make no payments and pay no interest on qualifying electronics purchases of $499 or more for 1 year when you use your blank credit account. What are they offering? They're offering no payment, no interest seller financing. They're saying, you let us go ahead and set the terms on the credit card. We'll go ahead and get you approved, and we'll go ahead and give you no payment, no interest for a period of time. Guys, this is an electronics store off the internet. No payment, no interest is not a new concept. It may be new for you guys just to think about the concept, but you understand that no payment, no interest has always been around. It always has and it always will. It exists. It's just that I took it and I've molded it into a deal and just woke up and shook up the seller and said, look, no payment, no interest is nothing more than what everybody else is offering. You're just going to go ahead and hold the note. I need no payment, no interest to get in there, turn the property around, and then I'm going to start producing income and I'm just going to pay you off. And you know what, Mr. Seller? If we do it, guess what you have? You have a deal that just got closed. You want your problem solved? Let's go ahead and solve your problem. Let's close on your property. Let's go ahead and make it happen. We have a deal. It's done. The deal's done. That's number one in somebody's mind. They want a deal done. And if you can structure the right terms, you can get the deal completed. Okay? Get the deal completed. Always ask, why am I getting such great terms? Just because they give you seller financing, just because they give you 100% seller financing. Kevin's case, over leveraged with cash back at closing. How sweet it is. Why? Why? Why are they? What's their motivation behind it? Why is the seller selling? Right? We don't want to inherit anybody's headaches or their problems or their issues. We want to be able to take over a situation and go ahead and solve that situation with action. Okay? Now ask yourself, am I taking over a headache that cannot be cured? Now here, this particular project I want to share with you guys because it's so very important. It's very important that I walk you through this. And I have some points to make, and we need to analyze this thing to understand the motivation of the seller and how the relationship came together. This particular property is a senior living facility, and it's a 34-unit A-plus condition senior living. In senior living facilities, write this down, you're responsible for three things: meals, transportation, and housekeeping. I'll say it again. Meals, transportation, and housekeeping. And being the fact that you're responsible for that, you got to find a project that you can get in, fill whatever vacancies, again, raise whatever rents, and bring in the right operations manager. This thing has a $2.9 million replacement value. I mentioned horizontal development, also mentioned vertical development. And this is what it would cost to do this thing vertical, $2.9 million bucks. It was advertised on the open marketplace under $1.5 million. Is that a good deal so far? Huh? Hello? Yeah, absolutely. It was 1.5. Guys, that's 50% of appraised value. 50%. Does that excite anybody here yet? Okay, good. Now, look at it like this. $200,000 down payment. OPM, that's how we raised it. But a $200,000 down payment, why was it $200,000? Okay? Now, a partner of mine, he called on this particular project out of the acquisition criteria, as you guys know. And inside the Quick Start, there are some pre-screening CDs where I recorded calls of brokers and sellers. It's in there for you. It's in your system. And he just listened to it for building. Then he went and just called on this seller. This property was actually advertised on eBay. was advertised on eBay. And the reason why it was advertised on eBay was out of desperation for a sale. Now, they were just about to do grand opening, and the thing was, this thing's 100% vacant, but it's fully furnished with a limousine and a helipad on the back of it with a hospital just down the street. All right? Is that powerful? What's around the area is very important. That's what I'm getting to, guys. What's around the area is extremely important. Now, they were just about to do the grand opening. They had a tragedy in the family. It spiraled them out of control. The thing sat vacant for a period of time. Not long enough to make it bad. It just needed just a little light brush up. It just needed some little kitchenettes inside each one of the units. 2 of the units have executive suites that overlook Table Rock Lakes right outside of Branson, Missouri, a huge baby boomer community. This thing has all the right elements. Now, in the acquisition criteria, it tells exactly how we want to buy property. Now, if Ray wouldn't have went in there and asked him, hey, will you go ahead and structure these terms if we solve the problem? The problem was they had a $200,000 note that was coming due. It was a high-interest note. It had a balloon date. So what happened was he said, you go ahead and take out this $200,000, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and give you whatever terms that you guys need as long as you do one thing. We said, what's that? They said, continue to operate it as a senior living facility. Because at this point, Best Western is trying to buy us out on this deal. They want to go ahead and take out the $200,000 note, pay all cash, give us what we're advertising, but we don't want to sell it to Best Western because we don't want it to be a hotel. We want the property to live on in their mother's name and leave a legacy behind. So we went ahead and drummed it from OPM. What's OPM? That particular partner is now a money partner in the deal. They actually have equity ownership of the project. We gave away a sliver of it. And we structured 18-month no payment, no interest terms. Guys, it's a year and a half, no payment, no interest. Who can't do this deal? A year and a half, no payment, no interest. And we have a clause in there that allows us to buy more time after the fact. Just a little bit. Maybe just exercising an additional 12 months. Or maybe 2 6-month options. We can get in there and buy more time. And we can also go in there if need be and get an additional discount if it's negotiated the right way. But for this property, there's no need to. I'm going to explain why. The exit strategy is to fill it up in 6 to 9 months. A new value will be $3.9 million. $2.5 million are new equity. That's a net monthly cash flow of over $30,000. Actually comes to $32,000 is where it's at. Sure, everybody here could use an extra $32K, right? Guys, we bring in the professionals. They're the assistant of the governor of the state of Texas. She owns and operates the projects. What we did, write this down. This is why I'm sharing this with you. Write this down. We knew that the lender that we spoke with said, look, it would be to your best interest to go ahead and give a percentage to this owner of all these other assisted living and senior living facilities. So that way she operates it. She has vested interest, looks after it as hers. But then also any lender that looks at it knows that you have a partner that is so overqualified. So this new LLC that we just drummed up now has the partner in place with the money partner in place, and it's a no-brainer deal, structured with 18-month no payment, no interest. Do you guys understand the power of that? It's so powerful, okay? We can do something called a cash-out refinance. We're going to discuss that in detail when we cover financing. But just for the financier that was here, I know because I just got through talking to him, you get this thing up to market occupancy for 180 days. You can do something called a cash-out refinance. Take out all the new equity, 2.4 new equity, strip it, and it goes into HNB, HIP National Bank. Okay? Let me show you pictures of this thing. All brick, solid. Now, Kevin went there and walked on mushy carpet. Okay? I choose not to go walk on mushy carpet, all right? I send the professionals there. We sent the professional there. She went ahead and walked to this building. She said, this thing is a 10 out of 10. Close on this thing. Close on it. It's a 10 out of a 10. It's gorgeous. And the seller said to me, you got to come down and look at this property, son. You got to check this thing out. I said, oh, I'll come down there in due time. I just can't come right now. I'm a little busy. He said, oh, okay, no problem. All right? No problem at all. It's okay. Never met the gentleman face to face. Neither did Ray. You know how many times I talked to the guy? Twice. Ever. Probably never talk to him again. Never need to. Unless I had to go back and ask for more time. But that's not needed. Look at this thing. Helipad. Helipads are cool, right? Full demonstration, free publicity, brings people into the area. This is a picture of it at night. Isn't it a gorgeous building? Our specialist said you could pick this thing up, put it right in the middle of Manhattan, New York. It'd be a 10 out of a 10. And the thing is going to be an absolute cash cow. So very excited. There's the limousine. We actually did away with the limo. It was negotiated, but we did away with it. We found out it was too low for people to get into, so now we got a van. Works better. All right? Vans are not as cool as limos, but it's still all right. Okay. You can see here's the views, Table Rock Lakes. Is that beautiful country or what? Absolutely. This is one of the interior rooms. This is an interior room. And this is actually one of the kitchens inside the executive suites. And what we're talking about, guys, is granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. Here's the eatery area. Now, what's around, write this down, what's around the building is very important. Is it low? These are all questions that are on your property information sheets. Is it a low-income area, medium-income area, high-income area? Where's the next development? What's going on, right? What's happening in the area? This area is very positive. It's a beautiful area. And this is my partner, Ray. And he says, anyone can do this deal using what I learned from Terry's system. I found a Class A luxury senior independent living facility on the internet offered for less than 1.5, and it's worth over 3.5 million. That's $2 million in equity. I simply submitted it to you, and a few weeks later after you bought it, my cut of the deal is worth a fat 6 figures, plus I get close to $4,000 a month. Terry, thanks a million, Ray Foster. And I always tell everybody that's a permanent grin on that man's face there, okay? Anybody could do this deal, guys. Anybody could knock this one out of the park. This is, again, free publicity. That's what it comes down to, getting the word out. And it's a plus for the growing area. It truly is. It says the grand elegance, the place coupled with the continued growth of beautiful Ozark Table Rock Lake area right outside of Branson, Missouri, huge baby boom area, attracts national comprehensive senior service groups. That's our partner, okay? The place has been acquired by the new owners, myself and my partners, have exciting plans for landmark property that will be a benefit to our seniors and a plus for our growing area. Is that a positive thing, guys? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we're going to be covering letters of intent and contracts in detail, but I want to point out one thing. I keep saying relationships are worth more than money, all right? The reason why I say that is because once you go ahead and strike that right relationship, it's irrelevant. Just like the lenders, it doesn't matter whether it's private money, whether it's going to be conventional bank financing, whether it's going to be hard money, like these gentlemen we're talking about. It's totally irrelevant. Once you go ahead and strike that relationship and they know that you're committed and they know that you're in the deal, it doesn't matter. Most deals, guys, are done on emotions, on handshake. The psychology during negotiation, you guys are definitely, the light bulb's going to go on. Now, we're going to talk about why it's on one page as well. But look here, point something out. This is $100. We originally wrote this up on this binder. We're going to be discussing binders and everything that's inside of a letter of intent. But we wrote this thing up for $10K, $10,000. He sent it back and he said, I'm going to sign this under one condition. We said, what? He goes, I don't need your money on this deal like this. You already solved my problem, curing my $200,000 note. You're going to be out there. I already met your specialist. We're good. I met your specialist. He was so impressed by her. He goes, we're good. He goes, all I need is $100. Let's just bind this thing with $100. Tied it up with $100, 18 months, no payment, no interest. Anybody interested? All right, we're in. This is just some overview. This is just what the income and expenses, just to show you guys what it looks like. Weekly marketing reports. All this stuff is the data that the professionals will deliver for you. They'll go ahead and tell you what's in there. Additional marketing reports. They held a few mixers. You can see a chamber mixer. They had 30 attendees show up. They did some direct mail contacts. They're moving forward in taking action. And this stuff just comes through the pipeline to your project manager. Your project manager just looks at it and says, good, they're proactive. We're getting tenants in. Now, for assisted living and senior living facilities, you can also get some people who will apply for government assistance, VA loans, things like that. So because of that, you can fill these things really quick. And this professional works with that type of money. And here's one last picture of it. All right? So now what I'm going to do is cover tax shelter. Now, tax shelter is going to be a quick subject, and the reason being is we're going to revisit tax shelter in detail with Al. He's my guy. I hire the professionals, and I'm exposing you guys to the professionals because I want you guys to use the same resources that I use. That's why I bring the money partners in. That's why I bring the tax guys in. That's why I bring special people in to share positive things with you because we all are a master of our craft in the general sense. but we can't be a master in each and every single little field. So if you have interest in certain additional niches, I encourage you to take advantage of the advanced trainings or what have you, whatever you want to do. As far as tax shelter, guys, this is not a subject that I want to jump into, but I'm going to cover it for you because it's one of my common four. An income-producing property tax shelter comes and as income-producing property can shelter some of its own income from taxation is what I'm getting to. It can. It can shelter some. All right? As an owner, you take in something called taxable rental income. Write that down, taxable rental income. When you're taking in taxable rental income, you pay out tax-deductible operating expenses. Since you have to pay that out, you're paying out in insurance and in repairs. All right? This leaves you with an NOI, a net operating income. All right? That's just the operating income, which you would expect to pay taxes on, right? Well, let me explain. Here we go. The general economic benefits from growth of development. This is office, retail space, housing, development, etc. The tax code permits further deductions. Mortgage interest and depreciation. Let me talk about mortgage interest for a sec. This is the cost associated with acquiring, not operating. Acquiring the property, not operating. Depreciation deductions, now called cost recovery. Some of you are familiar with cost recovery or that type of verbiage. Because of time wear and tear, you can deduct for the declining value. Now, you know as well as I do that yearly how much abuse is your property actually going to take. Okay? But still, it's one of those tax benefits that allow us to write it off, just like your car depreciates. And by the way, guys, when you buy a brand new Mercedes, you drive it off the lot, it depreciates when the tires jump right off the curb. Okay? I know that for sure. That's why we lease. Okay. Hire the professionals to do what they do best, concentrate on what you do best. Always consult with the tax advisor. But make this note. These 2 bullet points are very important about the mortgage interest and also the depreciation. Okay? Costs associated with acquiring, not operating. All right. Now equity. Equity. Purchase price. $1 million. I want to go ahead and classify this. We buy at 30 to 50% of appraised value, as is whereas, right? We do not buy on speculation. We do not buy on hope. Page number, please, folks. That's what I thought. Okay. Now, equity, on my example here, 30 to 50% of appraised value, as is whereas. The purchase price at 30% of appraised value equals $300,000. How much equity at closing, guys? $700,000, and we want equity at closing. Remember my rule, double or triple. I put this on the record because I want you to understand the double or triple rule. I still get people that run to the back and they say, you got to look at this deal, and it still doesn't qualify under the double or triple rule. They're like, you could put $1 million in, we could go ahead and just put $200,000, and in 24 months the thing's going to be worth $2 million. Isn't that a great deal? I say, yeah. Guys, double, triple rule. Get in, get out, get rich. Double or triple the total cost approximately 1 year. $1 million purchase price plus any cost equals $2 to $3 million in 12 months plus have it cash flowing. We want at least double or triple total value, but what about a 10-time return, guys? Who here gets a little sketchy about a 10-time return? What about a 100-time return? I got some deals that have such a monster return on them, and they're the projected return, just like Kevin showed, $315,000 in $1.3 million. In a very short period of time. $2 million versus $12 million. You know my rule, guys. It doesn't take any longer. Don't be fooled by getting in to a $2 million project just because you're afraid of the extra zeros. Okay? Don't be afraid of the extra zeros. All these are cash flowing properties, and all these are also recession-proof properties. Okay? Number 1 is apartments. 2, self-storage. 3 is assisted living. 4 is senior living facilities, and 5 are mobile home parks. Now, if you've heard me talk, you've heard me say this before, and I'm going to repeat it because it's so very important. Recession-proof properties are very powerful because the market is always cyclical. It always goes up and down. When we're talking about cash-flowing properties, people lose their homes. Where do they go, folks? Apartments. They go to apartments. That's what they do. Now, when they go to apartments, they don't have a lot of closet space in apartments. People accumulate stuff. Some are pack rats more than others. Where does the stuff go? Self-storage. All right. You got it. First is apartments. All right. By the way, this is an ugly-looking apartment. But don't worry about it. This is a large project. But again, you can go ahead and get fixated on the little 6 unit or 10 unit or 12 unit. That's fine for your first deal. But why? Like I said before, you're going to kick yourself. Might as well do a bigger deal. Okay? All the stuff goes into apartments. Right down self-storage, we're looking for the second generation. Those are the roll top doors. Very, very low maintenance, guys. It's like apartments without the people. You got all their stuff. All right? So you can get in there, and if they don't pay the rent, you put the lock on there and you change the lock. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about for self-storage. I do have somebody coming in. We're going to talk about self-storage in detail. And we got a lot of things that we're looking at as far as doing some partnership arrangements together, because self-storage is just a cash cow. Who here likes self-storage? Raise your hands. Everybody's hand should go up, man. Self-storage is just kick butt. Now, I'm using some of my master lease option strategies. MLO made easy is what I call it. All right? And with these strategies with master lease option, they work really, really great with self-storage. Because for self-storage, the reason why they work great is because on self-storage properties, we can get in there and do that nuisance rent that I was talking about and increase the NOI, which increases the value. Remember I talked about that? And with the master lease, setting that up with ways that we can get in there to increase the value by adding additional vending and getting creative with different cash flow techniques and strategies. Self-storage is just, people are making a boatload of money on self-storage. I had a gentleman from next door walk over here, and we had a little talk. And he said, I love self-storage. I said, I love self-storage too. And we walked away from each other. Guys, self-storage, everybody is hot on it because it's a great technique. But I want you to understand that there's strategies, there's techniques, there's good things happening with self-storage. I really, really want to acquire more properties, but I don't want you guys only to fixate on self-storage, okay? There's a lot of properties out there like the senior living facilities, the mobile home parks. There's a lot of different property types out there. But just keep that in mind. We're going to have this long discussion a little bit later about this. Now, assisted living, people get old, people grow old. It's inevitable. We all grow old, okay? And it's going to happen to each and every one of us. It's unfortunate. Can't stop the clock, all right? Can't stop the clock. And, you know, I'm an animal lover. Dogs have it worse than we do. They're 7 to 1, all right? So assisted living, people just need assistance with living. It's really basic. But, guys, assisted living is good. I have some assisted living in my portfolio, but I got senior living facilities better than assisted living. Again, a senior living facilities, you're only responsible for the meals, transportation, and housekeeping, whereas assisted living, you're sometimes responsible for all types of stuff. Stuff that I just don't want to even get my hands into. I just let the professionals deal with it. We're talking about ramps and railings, Medicaid, Medicare, bed licenses. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And then if somebody comes in and they have respirator issues, then they need bags and they need medicine and they need stuff. I mean, it can get really complicated. And that's why we bring in the professionals. Do you guys understand that? Don't, guys.